engagement is very important, and engagement begins with you. Have you ever gone to a lecture where a person says, we're going to do something with engagement, and they stand behind the podium and they lecture to you the entire time? Well, that's not going to happen today. So I'd like for you to tell me your name quickly, whether or not you're engaged in online anything every day. Just your name. For example, I'm engaged, I would say 80% of the time online because I teach online classes, I'm texting all day, I'm doing research online. That's how I'm engaged. How about you?
My name is Laura Gall, and how am I engaged? A lot of times connecting with teachers at work and my personal life.
Okay. And you?
I do research online and keep in touch with my family.
Oh, good, good.
Twitter, Facebook, our online learning environment for children.
How about what percentage of the day?
Oh, I mean,
A lot. How about you? Your name, please.
I'm Julie. Probably about 85% of the day for personal and professional.
Okay.
Veronica. Pretty much on Pinterest, teacher blog, Facebook. Katie. And after he loves learning.
Okay.
A lot of time. Homework.
Like, probably a lot, too much, sometimes. Probably a good idea. Yeah, a lot.
Okay.
My name's Gillian, and I'm probably about 85% through teaching and personal engagement.
Okay.
Personal, maybe 30. Professional, 90.
No.
Well, robots, yeah.
Oh, great, great.
My name's Liz. Probably about 75% of the time.
Good morning, Tanisha, probably 110% of the time, which is why I have special glasses because of the glare constantly from during the day and at night. So on a personal and professional level,
Great.
constant.
Hi, Courtney, about 85–90%.
Hi, I'm Candace, and probably about the same. I responded to 4 student questions already this morning.
Okay. You can't get away from it, right?
I'm Danielle, probably 80% of the time, between personal and interacting with students and teaching, etc.
Hi, Teresa, about 75%.
Craig, about 75%, something like that.
Okay.
Beth Ann, probably about 70.
Kelly, I'd say about 65.
Angela, about 80–85%.
Harvey?
About 75.
75, okay.
I'm Liz, about 80%.
And Katie, I would say probably 90% of the time for personal and professional.
I'm Kristen, probably about 95%.
Okay.
Teresa, 40.
Okay.
Probably 50.
All right.
Probably about 90%.
Elizabeth, about 85–90%.
Finish about 90.
Kelly, about 90%. Becky, I'd say about 70.
Okay.
Paula, probably about 80% between OneNote, email, and social media.
Okay.
I believe I'm an outlier. I'm maybe 30%.
That's okay. That's good. You're on your way. Yes.
I'm Debbie. I'm about 50%.
Okay.
Peggy, about 50%.
Okay.
I'm Larry, about 75%.
Teresa, 60%.
Okay.
Lori, about 70%.
Kathy, 95%.
Okay, well, we have a good range from 30 to about 110, which is typical, How about with our children? How much time are they engaged? 100. Even as toddlers, they have their iPads and they're constantly on your cell phones. I can't believe how young children too can operate these cell phones. It's amazing. So what we're going to do today is to pretty much take a look at these objectives to identify factors that impact engagement, how to enhance engagement online, and some of the best practices. And I love classes like everybody's cheering and happy. You know, we wish we could have that all of the time. Okay. Does our thumbsucker seem to be engaged with Charlie Brown? Not really. How many thumbsuckers do you have in your online classes? Do you know what I mean? What does it mean not to be engaged online? What does that look like? Clicking through the video.
Moving from tab to tab, maybe.
Okay, clicking from tab to tab. How do you, as an instructor, know that your students are not engaged? Yes.
You ask a question and they have no idea what you're referring to.
They have no answer for, they don't respond to your question.
They also have, they do bare minimum, enough to, like, whatever the requirement is, enough to get it done, and the answers are very short, quick, or whatever it is that they need to just accomplish the task.
Right.
No elaboration.
No elaboration.
Lots of incomplete or
I couldn't hear
partially
you. Sorry.
lots of incomplete or partially completed work.
Yes. Anything else? Do they meet the timelines that you give them? Sometimes they respond or they say, oh, may I have an extension for another week? Would you know that your assignments are weekly? And what's the difference? Yes, somebody else? What's the difference between engagement in a face-to-face class and engagement online? What's the difference? What happens that's different?
Body language, facial expressions.
Right, facial expressions, eye contact. You can see them when they come into class late. You can see it online as well. But you can really see it when you're in class, correct? Okay. Anything else or difference?
I think that online sometimes the quieter people participate more than in classes.
Right. So it seems that sometimes students are not engaged for many reasons. It could be, just like in a classroom, the instructor is boring. They're not enjoying it. They're not motivated, okay? And it seems like the instructor just doesn't care. But that's not true for any of us, is it? Well, how do you show that you care? How do you motivate your students? How are they engaged? Let's talk about that. I took a little time running back and forth. So, research shows that empowered learners are more likely to undertake challenging activities, to be actively engaged, to enjoy, and to adopt a deep approach to learning. They exhibit enhanced performance, persistence, and creativity. Now that happens in our face-to-face classes, but how do we get that to happen? How do we get them to be creative online?
We give them choice.
Give them choices, such as,
Well, how do you want to present this project? You know, what's the modality through which you want to do it? How do you want to, do you want to create an iMovie? Do you want to go into some of the, like Chatterpix? I'm sorry, I'm an elementary teacher. So,
no, fine.
you know, but how is it that they want to present it? And do they want to do it independently? Do they want to work within a group?
Anyone else? In higher ed or on junior or senior high school? How do you know that they are engaged and that it's essential?
Communicate.
Communicate, okay.
Check in and communicate.
Okay, great.
But also ask them what they're interested in, and then trying to find something that it will, for them to interact.
Good. Interest, motivation. Oh my goodness. These are things that really help us in determining whether or not students are engaged. So, these are the key factors. We talked about them already. Motivation, interest, and caring. Motivation, interest, and caring. These are several you will get an F. If you don't turn this in every week, you won't get as many points. Fear, I will call your mother, or I will call your father, or I will tell the Success Center if you're at a college level. Fear, 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 fear. Rewards, I will give you 10 points. I will give you stickers. What else can you give them as rewards?
Candy.
Candy.
Free time.
Free time.
Computers.
Computer time. That's the best.
Sometimes they just want a smiley face.
A smiley face. Right, right. And it's interesting that students would say the only lasting thing is self-motivation. Okay, you can motivate students in a variety of ways. So we have different subjects. And so in mathematics, if you have a word problem and the student is having difficulty with it, how many of you are math teachers? Okay. How do you motivate your students when they come across a problem they just can't do?
Oh, me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, think about it. I'm a new math teacher.
Okay, that's fine. That's perfect.
I guess I just like encourage them, say that you can do it, and you can just think about what you know, and that's, I don't know.
Does it
It's a good
work?
question. Sometimes it depends on the student.
Okay.
I think motivation depends really on the student. Like what is going to get the student to work rather than the student to work.
Okay.
So.
But everybody likes praise. You can do it. Everybody likes encouragement. So that's great. What about science? Any science teachers? Yes.
Well, I don't teach online, but I teach chemistry. They actually like the hands-on stuff, which I know doesn't apply to the online things, but they like to see the actual results. I'm sure there are online interactive laboratories, and I'm sure it's the same kind of thing. You click on it, you get the right result, and that's a good feedback for them. I'm not sure I agree with that statement on the generated test, but because I just,
Okay. Online?
no, I'm just saying the kids like it when they actually get that they fully understand the concept in science, when the light bulb goes off. And I don't know if publishers generated tests are really going off for them as much as it is. I think for science, personally for me, for science, more hands-on than online.
In the face-to-face class.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Anybody teach science online? Because there are many courses that are taught online. And like you said, there are online engagement laboratories. I'm a funeral director as well. And so when you look at the circulatory system or the venous system, you can actually move and you do everything electronically, just like with robots. So sometimes for a person that's an online figure, it doesn't want to sit in your class. And a lot of them don't, so they prefer online courses, so that's how they can get engaged. What about English? I know we have some English teachers here. Yes, tell us how you engage your students online in English.
I use peer feedback online.
Okay, peer
so
feedback.
They can work on each other, look at each other. Sometimes they steal, in a good way, steal ideas or structures from the other kids.
Sure.
They enjoy that.
Okay, anything else?
I think the feedback piece is probably the most crucial with English and just with both praise and just critique, giving them the kind of things that they need, sharing examples, sites or whatever that they can go to for help. I use like the online writing lab at Purdue all the time and link that to all of my lessons so that the students can go in and check that out and for help with writing. So give them the resources, sharing that out is also important and encouraging them.
Anyone else? Yes.
We've used KidBlog to, when you're teaching content, pose a question and have the kids go on to the KidBlog and blog about the question, content, and give them a chance to kind of communicate among themselves. And then we've had other people sign in, like other people in our building sign in and read their stuff as well, so they know they've got a wider audience than just the teacher. So it kind of encourages them to, I think, write person is going to be reading it.
Now, how do you provide feedback in your English class, you as the instructor, to your students regarding their writing?
Early on, I highlight stuff more than later I have to learn and write.
Okay.
Scan them.
Scan them, so you email it back to them? Okay, yes.
I'm not an English instructor, but I'm integrator, so our language arts teachers use School Suite. So on the docs, they provide commenting and immediate feedback, so they can have a dialogue. They can highlight a section and say, oh, this is a really great idea. You know, maybe you can elaborate, or they'll provide a link or something to continually give them the feedback that they can use in creating their documents or their writing in their drafts as they move along.
Great. So other courses, other incentives or ways that you motivate students?
I think sometimes it's important for them to understand that when they're in the valley of learning, that we are in a valley. We don't know, but we're going to come out the other side. I think they have to remember that piece of it. And what I didn't know in September as compared to what I know now is much different. And they have to reflect, even at the young age, they have to see that growth that they've made.
Right. So how do you measure their growth so that they can see it in an online class? Yes.
I think through helping kids and adults to set personal goals and help them to understand how to measure their goals so they can be measurable, and also providing feedback to them about their progress. And it might just be reflection, collecting artifacts, like you always measure progress from the goals.
Right. So if they do an assessment of themselves at the beginning, whatever it is, setting goals, knowing how they're going to measure it, just like she indicated, towards the midway, midterms, you can see where they are. That's what I do in my online class. We have midterm assessment for the students, and I have a midterm assessment for myself. How am I doing? Were you engaged in the class? Is there anything that we should do differently? All of those things give some awareness of what is going on. Interest. Several researchers indicate that without interest, my goodness, it's not only nice, but also necessary for real learning. It really is necessary. Interests change as they develop. They gain new knowledge and skills as their biological environments change. And you know the difference between preschool, 5th grade, junior high school, and high school. Their interests change, their needs change, and so these are a couple of suggested tools that you can use to encourage their interests. Reflection is really very important, and newspapers, etc. Now we'll go to this thing called caring. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, how important is caring? Can anybody tell me about caring, what it means?
For me, I think of empathy, showing empathy and showing concern, but also showing interest in what the students are doing, and making sure that they understand that you know that they are a person that has feelings and sometimes experiences setbacks. That it's not just it's not just a business interaction. That's part of that motivation too, to make sure that they know that if there's a personal connection and you're invested in their success.
So how do you show that in an online course? I'll give you an example. I had a student who didn't check in regularly, maybe once a week. And I would notice when she would check in, she would complete her work, but she was late. Maybe she would be 3 days late or 4 days late. So I have this cell phone number, Pinger. Does anybody know that, Pinger? Okay, you can get a cell phone number. It's free. that students can use to call you or text you at any time. So it doesn't interfere with your personal phone. It's P-I-N-G-E-R, write it down. It's the best thing, I'm telling you. And you get free minutes by listening to some advertisement or something. You'll get, I think I have 200 something minutes. But I use it for texting because I tell my students that if you want to reach me, the best way to reach me is through a text message. I have to tell you a story about my daughter. She was calling me. She called me about 10 times when I was in a meeting. And so when I finally called her back, she said, Mother, where were you? I've been trying to reach you all day. I said, why didn't you text me? She said, I didn't know you had a text. It's amazing. So I say to my students, if you really want to reach me, don't call me. Text me. I can respond if I'm sitting in a meeting right now. Somebody sends a text message, I can discreetly text back. Okay? So this student who had been missing class but turning in assignments late, I sent her email, I sent her a text. She didn't respond. So finally I decided I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. I picked up the telephone and I called her. And I said, what is going on? You know, when you turn in your assignments, they're really good, but you know, it's towards the end of the semester. You've lost a lot of time. There's no way you can really make up. Let's talk about what's going on. You know what she told me? She says, I am in the second stage of cancer treatments. She says, when I try to go online, she said, I'm so sick I have to get into bed. And I just can't, I don't have the energy to do the work. Don't have the energy to do the work. I said, well, thank you for telling me. This is what I can do for you. Okay, I'm going to give you an incomplete, and you can finish your work, you know, when you're better. Usually we have a semester. You have one semester to comply with the incomplete. But it took her 2 semesters, but that was okay. Think about that. I could not tell that woman. There's no way I would have known that. No way. No way. But sometimes it takes a little bit going an extra mile to find out exactly what's going on with the student. Maintain a directory of online resources for them also. So if you have students that have health problems or financial problems or child care issues, if they're of age, where can you send them? What online resources are available for them? Anybody on the college level here? Yes, so what online resources can you refer them to?
Typically you have some sort of tutoring connection, or we subscribe to a couple of different ones for content-based tutoring. But usually we also have, my department provides a support page for support questions for different types. It may be technical, it may be content-based, but there's different videos or connections that we really get a hold of in our department that will support them.
Right, so there are online resources usually on the university website. They talk about financial aid, you need help with financial aid, but in high school, students may need some financial resources. How can we connect them? If they're trying to, for example, get an application for college, they don't have the money to pay for it. How can we connect them with resources?
Maybe your guidance counselor can find scholarships or other financial resources that are available, maybe some grants or sponsorships.
Absolutely. There are a lot of resources right online. Students do everything else online. They can search for resources right online. So please encourage them to do so. Okay. So that's our caring. So, in order to facilitate student engagement, there are a couple of other things you need to have. Self-regulation. How do you regulate yourself? How do you make sure you're doing things on time? Your interaction relationships and accessibility. Self-regulation. Oh my goodness. What I really do about this cell phone. When I need to be someplace, I have all of these meetings that I have to attend. I have to schedule things. How many use your phone as a calendar? Okay. Do your students use them? Some of them do. use everything. They really don't. They know how to go on Facebook, they know how to go on Instagram. You know, they know how to do all that, but sometimes they don't know how to do the very basic things that can help them in scheduling. And time management is so important for online courses. If you give an assignment on Monday and it's supposed to be submitted by 11 o'clock on Saturday, they need to give themselves alerts. How many people know how to use alerts on the phone? Yes, alerts help me. If I have a meeting, it will give me an alert and let me know that it's time to get, you know, I give myself a day in advance, and then I give an alert 2 hours before so that I know where I have to be. To find things that are really motivating and challenging. Something that will modulate their emotional reactions so that they can cope with and engaging in the learning environment. Sometimes students are so emotionally involved with things that are going on in or outside of school that they can't figure out what to do. They can't figure out to do or what the priorities are. So how can you help students prioritize online?
You can start with scaffolding it up and just, you know, a good introduction and a good orientation to the course such that they can understand the time commitments that it's going to take to the course, where does it fit into their schedule. I have children go through and map out their week. When do I have practices? When do I have commitments that I can't move? And then when am I actually going to work on this class?
Right.
They prepare their schedule, they take a look at it, they share their schedule with the parents communicate to the teachers, say, whatever he thinks is the whole orientation piece.
Right.
And then just check in and then making sure that we're doing either releasing assignments, we have assignments set up in a way that children can move through it and know kind of where they are based on what they have left to do and kind of chart the progress.
Right, so really, there are three things that they need to learn how to do, and you're absolutely right. What they should do before beginning a task. Before you begin this discussion board or this writing project, what should I do? Set the goals, okay? Develop a plan of action. I'm going to devote 1 hour per day on this task, or 15 minutes here. Come up with a plan. They need to see a plan. We have plans. We have lesson plans. We plan. They should plan as well. And that will help them later on in their careers. While they are learning, they need to deal with learning strategies and find out how these strategies are working. You know, I'm going to use an approach where I will communicate with others in the group. A lot of students like group work. Some hate it online. How many of you have students that do not like to be engaged with other students online? Many people do. My Uber driver yesterday, I was saying, you know, I was doing this presentation. She said, well, one thing about online learning I hate is communicating with other students and depending on them to get my grade. So what can we do to help them in groups? Because you have to engage, that's how they collaborate, to make sure that they get their points that they need. Well, I have decided to use Blackboard Collaborate. Have any of you know about Blackboard Collaborate? And I require them to have their group sessions online because they normally say, well, this person is never available. I can't reach them, blah, blah, blah. So if you're online and you're communicating back and forth, you set a time, that really does help. That really does help. And following the task, once you turn in this report, you need to reflect. Somebody talked about self-reflection. Reflect on what that impact of that is on your overall performance. Remember that ultimately, okay, now this is really getting down to the nitty-gritty. Online learning is about interaction relationships. Learner to instructor relationships. So how do you communicate
whole class announcements,
Announcements, okay. How else?
individual emails,
Email, good. What else?
live chat.
Live chat, what else?
Engagement on the discussion boards.
Discussion boards, right. Anything else? Something you do on your phone. Text. When you need to, text. Use that Pinger account, not your personal phone. Use that Pinger account, it really does help. You text, so you have many ways to communicate with them. What about office hours? Do you have online office hours? Okay, or face-to-face hours. I teach 2 online courses and 1 face-to-face. And so I make my office hours at the same time, pretty much, and I have 1 hour in the evening for online learners. So they have an opportunity to come see me face-to-face if they want to, but they can also communicate with me online. That's one thing that a lot of faculty members fall short on. They don't communicate with the students. They don't give them feedback. And that is something that's very important, because if you don't see them face to face, look at this idea, you're just an incompetent person because you don't communicate. Even though you have the best plans, you spend all semester developing your tests and your written assignments, but you don't communicate with students. That's not going to work. What about learner-content interaction? How do you interact with the content? How does the learner interact with the content online? Do you have, go ahead.
Videos.
Videos, okay. Okay. If you have links to a textbook, they interact with it. You have various self-assessments online. That's a good way for them to get feedback, self-assessment. What about learner-to-learner interactions? Discussion board, chat rooms. They do the same type of social networking that they do every day. That's how they communicate with one another. We may not know it. They're always, what's the latest? Instagram, what's the next one they do? Oh, there's so many of them. Snapchat. Yes, and so they're communicating all the time, even if it's about school. It's important for them to be able to communicate. Okay. And then finally, the most important part is accessibility. We have students who have a variety of challenges. Those that are diagnosed as having a disability, and those that are not. There are students in your classes that may have visual impairments. Anybody have students with visual impairments? No? Okay, few. Hearing impairments? And if you were in an online class, how would you have students raise their hand?
They click the symbol.
They click the symbol, all right. So we were in an online class, we click the symbol. Or how about taking a poll? Do any of you use the free polls that are out there? What do you use?
Poll everywhere.
Poll everywhere. You can use that, and that's one way to keep them engaged. And I was trying to set up a poll today so you could do that, but didn't have enough time to work it out. So poll everywhere. There's several of them. Just type in free polls. So that's one of the ways you can get involved. How about people with learning and cognitive impairments? Well, I'm going to tell you a website that you can go to. Has anyone ever heard of Universal Design for Learning? Okay. What is that? Universal Design for Learning is a system of teaching and learning that eliminates all barriers. It's a way of communicating, representing and expressing. Students can express themselves in a way that fits their modality. For example, if you are hearing impaired, you would like to get things presented to you how? If you're hearing impaired. Visual. Okay. So on our computers, oh my goodness, we can do so much. without going to a special education teacher. So if you have a student that is visually impaired, how can you help them on a computer with a computer? Okay, audio. Okay. Rest, text to reader, text to speech, or speech to text. There are a lot of things that you can use to include and help students who are having challenges to be included in the classroom and online so that you can communicate with them. There's no excuse. Sometimes you'll get a letter saying this student has a disability and you are to make reasonable accommodations. That's what we use on the college level. But in school you have an IEP or IFSP, and it tells you exactly what you need to do, and you have to be compliant because that's the law. That's the law, and if you're not, you can be sued. Well, not personally, but the school system can be sued. I am a special education attorney and special education teacher, and believe me, I know that that can happen. And no one wants to be called into a hearing. Has anyone been to a due process hearing to testify? Nobody wants to do that. It's really not what you want to do. So make sure that when you're in doubt, go to the UDL website, Universal Design for Learning. Type in what your students' challenges are, and then they will come up with some techniques that you can use in your classroom while you're waiting for an IEP, while you're waiting for the assessment. Universal Design for Learning. And that will give you a variety of techniques that you can use. Because Universal Design looks at representation, the way things are presented. Are they presented in writing? Can you change them to audio? It looks at multiple means of expression. How do they communicate? If they are communicating in writing, they can't see, they can use the speech to text, all those things. And of course, engagement. The affect, the emotional part, the engagement. So you have to use as many techniques as possible with that. I have a short video I'm going to show you by a couple of, well, first of all, I'm going to say this. These are some of the references that I use. There are quite a few of them. I have an article that will be published in March on engagement. Let me show you this video. Yes, you can get, I will, if you send it to my email address, I will send you a copy. Okay. Yes, it's all in the, no, all in the. So do you have any questions?
our board of thought.
Okay, I'm gonna say that, you can obtain information about universal designs for learning. You can obtain a copy of the handouts here that will give you links to all of the references that I used. I will also add to it a link to my chapter in a book on engagement, which will be out in March. And so if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. If not, thank you so much.
Thank you.